You're listening to Potato Pasta, the best stories from the internet narrated by a human. The following prompt was written by Kubrick Fan. The Elven Kingdoms call their old allies the humans for aid. Expecting medieval armies, they get a modern 21st century one instead. The following response was written by Windexhammer. I was only a child when the way was closed. I sat on my father's shoulders and cried as the last humans walked through the shimmering portal and our mages chanted the closing ritual. I didn't understand at the time that the portal between the planes had attracted demons and monstrosities in ever-increasing waves. All I knew was that my best friend had left and that I would never see them again. On that day, I vowed to do anything to see my friend again. As I grew, I learned of the commitment our people made, that in times of great danger the humans could reactivate the way and we would come to their aid, even knowing the dangers to our realm that would follow. So I joined the vanguard, and mastered the blade and the bow so that I would be there if the humans ever called for aid. But they never did, and life moved forward. I fell in love, I was heartbroken, I fell in love again, I had children. I rose through the ranks of the vanguard. Things were good for a time. Then the rumors started. A village in ruins, everyone missing. No corpses, no graves. Swaths of forest razed, foul magic and disease. Eventually, the enemy revealed themselves. A singular demon escaped the purge and established themselves on this plane, finally able to summon hordes of followers. The war raged for years. With superior arms and tactics, we won more battles than we lost. But it didn't matter. The sheer number of foes drove us back until eventually the great city itself was besieged. In one final desperate ploy, I asked the mages to open the way once more. During the days of the opening ritual, we drew lots among the survivors in the city to determine the order of evacuation. A strange, bittersweet sadness washed over me as I declined the lottery. After all this time, so close to seeing my friend. But I knew my duty was to guard the mages as the way was closed once again. If they failed, it would all be for nothing. As the way portal started to take shape, it became clear the demons knew something was happening. Their assault on the city increased in intensity. Right as the portal rippled and settled into that familiar shimmering glow, a pack of demon infiltrators burst forth from the ground near the portal. I leapt forward to slow them down and stop them reaching the threshold. Surprised to see me in their way, they paused for a heartbeat before rushing forward, claws poised to strike. I knew I was outmatched even as I raised my spear. But then, a thunderous noise from behind me. From the portal. The demons stopped in their tracks. A heartbeat later, they collapsed. Dead. I turned to see what magic had come from the portal and saw 5 humans in mottled armor carrying smoking black weapons. My own ragged breath, my heartbeat in my ears, the equally ragged breathing of my squad mates through the comms. That was all I could hear. For a moment, everything was still, calm. Then the adrenaline slams into me, the horror of those creatures volunteering to lead through the portal, that twisting, spinning, sickening, simultaneously never-ending and instantaneous transport through the portal. Combat. Killing. It all hits home at once. I wrench my head free from the helmet and vomit on the floor. That done, I straighten up and look around. With the green tinge of the combat display out of the way, I can't help but notice the beauty of this place. The sweeping arches, the intricate details, the interwoven plants. But underneath it all, a grim reality poking through. Elegant weapons in easy reach. The smell of blood and smoke in the air. The sounds of barked orders and troop movements. An elderly elf armed with only a spear ready to battle those beasts. I tell them we're here to help. As the crazy spear carrier seems to translate, a cheer echoes through the crowd. 2 of my squad start working to take samples from the 3 different types of creature in the courtyard. More soldiers arrive. We figure out how to communicate. They speak something like Latin, which helps. It turns out the old elf with the spear is something like a general. I try to imagine my general fighting a demon with a spear. I can't. The elves are at war. We agree to help. After a few weeks of skirmishing, defending the besieged city, eventually the drone squadron arrives. Their cases full of little automatic drones or teams of their engineers carrying parts of the larger drones. I'm in one of the towers with the old elf when the launch siren wails. One large drone surrounded by a swirling cloud of smaller drones takes off over the walls, the mechanical whirring sound out of place in this ancient city. As the cloud of drones reaches the trenches of the enemy, thin tendrils break off and fly down into the trenches. Before long, the wailing of the demons begins. A cheer erupts from the city. The elves rejoice at the sound of their victory. After a time, a shockwave rocks the city. The stained glass window of the grand hall shatters. Nothing else is damaged. The next morning, the mood is somber as the reports file in. The chemical and biological weapons worked wonders. Most of the horde has been reduced to ooze. The nuclear warhead wiped out the stronghold and their portal. Victory by any and all means necessary, and along with it, departure and disconnection. I was the first through, so they agree to let me be the last back. Everyone else has filed through and their wizards are readying the disconnection. That elf catches my eyes as I take in this beautiful city one last time. Sadness, appreciation, disappointment, and remembered love washes me as I turn, knowing we will never meet again. The following response is written by Remarkable Youth 504. Today is the day we all die. For eons, we have held the line against darkness. For as long as anyone can remember, we have sacrificed men, women, and children in this eternal war against evil. We knew the war was not winnable. We knew we were only delaying the inevitable. Yet we held the line at tremendous cost. Well, today is the day we fall. Last night, there were grim faces all around. My uncle, the mage, suggested we ask the humans for help. Apparently, an ancient blood treaty existed between elves and men. Frankly, I didn't quite see the point. The human world would fall soon enough. Let them enjoy their last few moments in oblivion. If we couldn't hold the line, what hope did the humans whose magic dried up millennia ago really have? But my father, the king, agreed that the humans should be contacted. After all, this affected them as well. And so my uncle left last night to contact the king of the humans, whose name apparently is Potus. Maybe he'll live a few more days than us. I force myself to focus on the present. I can smell the sulfur, nearly taste the rot from the approaching horde. This will be our last stand. From the corner of my eye, a sudden movement. A trick of the Great Other? I hear my uncle's voice. "Captain, on your left." A portal opens. So the humans have come to die with us. Great. From the portal, many dragons pour forth. Humans control dragons? The ground before me explodes into fire in a sequence as if a musical crescendo. The army of darkness is reduced to cinders. My uncle turns up with a fair-haired maiden. The first thing that strikes me is that she has only one earring, a cheap-looking white thing. Then I hear her earring speak.
First pass completed. All targets destroyed. Commencing second pass.
"Roger," says the maiden. The speaking earring, whose name I surmised was Roger, falls silent. The maiden grabs my hand.
"Colonel Samantha Rogers, I understand you're in charge. Can you point out where your wounded are so that my medics can attend to them?"
We keep on chatting. Princess Samantha is surprisingly efficient, alternating between coordinating aid, taking briefs from me, and coordinating further strikes. "It's no use." I shake my head ruefully. "Even with your dragons, you will never defeat the Great Other. His legions are endless, as you can see over the horizons." I see Princess Samantha's brow furrow, and her expression turns stern as she starts speaking to Roger again. A massive chariot, with what I can only describe as a massive tree tied to its top, appeared from the portal. I watched with grim fascination as the tree tied to the top of the chariot started righting itself. I have no explanation for what happened next. The tree started breathing fire and flying towards the heart of the enemy at great speed. The dragons the humans brought seemed to fearfully retreat from the battlefield.
"You might want to cover your eyes for what's about to come next,"
said Princess Samantha, softly. and the very earth shook, as if it would tear asunder, while a great ball of fire formed in the distance. The fireball grew in size and brightness until it rivaled the sun. When the fire collapsed, absolutely no traces remained of the horde. A massive mushroom remained where the armies of the Great Other once stood. For the first time in forever, we elves could feel no traces of the Great Other corrupting the source. It was as if a great hand has reached out and wiped off the Great Other from existence itself. Princess Samantha spoke to me, a puzzled look on her face.
You couldn't call us earlier?
Thanks for sticking with me till the end. If you enjoy my narrations, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to know when new videos come out, hit the bell, and make sure you select all notifications. I know it's annoying to ask, but it really does help the channel reach more people. Thank you.